Hello there. Do you like FistShark marketing? Do you think it's a good podcast? Yeah, well, why don't you leave it a positive review or something on iTunes or wherever it is you listen to podcasts? Whatever your podcast platform of choice is, give it a good rating or a review. It won't kill you, will it? It won't hurt you. It won't put you out of your day any, will it? So why don't you do that? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be you doing something for someone else.
Diamond sales are down, guys. Like, really bad. The whole millennial generation isn't buying them, and we can't figure out why.
Fucking millennials!
Oh, it's always the goddamn millennials.
I hate them.
They seem to think that they're gonna change the world, or something.
I'm going to write an article on Medium about how they're bad.
Sure, they love to work hard and they want success, but they're unwilling to compromise on things like comfort and job satisfaction. It's like, what kind of world do you think you're living in?
What's the cutoff date for the millennial? Is that like are these folks that were born in 2000? So they're 16? Because that's the millennium was 2000, or the willennium. Are there willennials? Maybe we could get them to buy diamonds.
Yeah. No, there's a few millennials. You have Jaden, and then there's the other one, right?
Oh, the dancing one. Yeah, the one with the tweets.
This is how it goes. It's baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Y, Generation Millennial, Generation Willennial, Generation Spice Girls when they came back briefly. There's only, like, babies born that year during their comeback that are Spice Girls.
And I'm pretty sure that was just a ploy to induct more people into the cult. I think they were just worried about membership.
I don't doubt it at all. I mean, I think that's why the blood of every firstborn son in the families born that year was taken to that pyramid that disappeared a year later.
When a child is conceived with a Spice Girl song on in the background, they come in the night to take the child away shortly after birth and raise it as one of their offspring. Foul creatures, really. There's something about the music that has a really deleterious effect on the development of a child.
At least they bought diamonds.
Which brings me to our issue. I think maybe they're just not cheap enough. Cubic zirconium may not even be cheap enough for these people. This is going to be the first generation that doesn't do as well as their parents. And so if all their parents could afford was cubic zirconia, diamonds are fucking right out.
Right. So yeah, what you're saying is we need a new generation with a new diamond alternative. Because the baby boomers have all the diamonds, as they should.
That's what you get when you mortgage a future. You use it to buy diamonds.
Well,
valuable diamonds.
They had the idea first and they reaped the rewards.
They entered the market quickly, got in, got theirs, got out.
Yep, if the millenniums were more industrious and less lazy, less bothered with their iPhones and their iPads and their iMacs, that's one, isn't it? Then they'd have had the idea first. They'd have mortgaged the baby boomers' future, but they got in before everyone else, and God bless them for it.
And all of these forms of technology that the millennials love, they all contain diamonds, sometimes blood diamonds. So if all these pieces of technology contain blood diamonds starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
Very beautiful and such a talent.
And they love Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, he was so good.
I'm really disappointed that promotion that we did with diamonds made from the blood of Leonardo DiCaprio didn't have more success. I really expected that would have been a good tie-in, but nobody was interested in buying them.
Whatever happened to DiCaprio after that? Did he more or less recover, or?
Oh yeah, no, he's fine.
You guys didn't hear, did you?
Hear what?
About Leo.
No, what happened?
Well, shit. I guess it's up to me to break it to you. He was in a car accident about a month ago.
Is he okay?
Well, He was in a convertible. He is actually very similar to how James Dean went. He had a side collision. Well, he was head on, went into the side of a truck, a long haul truck, hit the container at the back, which was raised enough that the car went under it, but he did not. And he's been decapitated. Do you get it? I've been working on that for a month, ever since the accident. He is dead. He is dead, but that's a good joke.
That's a good joke.
Yeah.
That's a good joke.
Head clean off. It was horrible. I was there.
Tragic what happened to him.
Oh yeah. I'm still in therapy for the trauma of it. I held the body as it leaked.
But decapitated.
Oh God. Oh, those t-shirts didn't sell. Very much like these pointless diamonds that are so worthless now, we are indeed grinding them up and just shoving them in iPhones just to get rid of them. I've never seen something so valueless and yet so expensive.
And it's a problem for us because we care about this. Why do we care about diamonds?
Well, we do a lot of work with De Beers, and like that whole shadow marketing campaign that they did where everything was in silhouettes. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, that was really good. It was very chic.
Yeah, that wasn't ours.
Oh.
In the bit I put together for the campaign, it was all about that magical moment where a man presents a woman a diamond and she looks really hesitant and concerned, like, oh shit, what am I getting myself into here? But says yes anyway. There's a big market out there of people who buy into the idea of marrying someone on the basis that they're being offered a diamond, and I really thought we could tap into it, but it just didn't go over.
It didn't pay off. For my part, I tried my own marketing campaign. I wore a GoPro and put a diaper on a monkey, and every few seconds just muttered, "Buy some diamonds, you shitheads," and was hoping that would engage, the new generation of edgy teens. But it turns out edgy teens have no money. They did like the monkey in the diaper.
So we can run with that. So we've got gilt diamonds. We've got shadowy figures. We've got monkey in a diaper. How about we create our own Cenobites who sell diamonds? Who maybe they even have diamonds sticking out of their heads. Guys, think about it.
Okay, let me walk with you on this one, Paulson. Actually, do you mind if I call you Paul?
Sure, you can call me Paul.
Okay, so I knew a Paulson and he shone bright like a diamond, which was just very confusing for me. Cenobites, you say?
Yeah, the legendary demons from hell raising through the world, using their puzzle box to summon themselves forth, drain human bodies of their flesh, their blood, their bone, until those humans slowly regenerate themselves by eating other people, usually lured to their attic or basement by a lover who they are entrancing, using this kind of sexual dynamite that they have, that I think is tied to the Cenobites, because they're scary, but they're kind of sexy. They'll tie you up a little bit and make it hurt so good, until it feels good. I think diamonds could fit in there somewhere.
Yeah. I like the idea. Don't get me wrong. I wish we could do it. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a legal battle going on between the senior partners and Clive Barker over some copyright infringement, with the senior partners as the litigants. So, little bit awkward. Don't think we can license their use at all.
So the senior partners created some of Clive Barker's work, is what you're saying?
More like they introduced Clive Barker to some of his creations, you could say.
At the very least inspired. It's sort of hard to explain unless you've been here for 5 years and get a go on the FistShark puzzle box. But once you've been here long enough, you get that and the washroom key, and it's all gold from there.
So back to diamonds.
Yes.
How are we gonna get diamonds to be valuable? I think we just need to make them more rare. I think what you were saying before about grinding them up and putting them into iPhones, eventually they'll be so hard to get that people will hunger for them again. Right now, they're, like you said, associated with baby boomers. Nobody likes babies. Nobody likes booms. They don't like that association, but once they're associated with something good, something real, then
like
we'll
what?
Skateboards.
Kids do love skateboards.
They're cool, aren't they? I've seen a kid on a skateboard once. I hated him.
Or immortality. Diamonds live forever.
That's what I'm told.
Everyone wants to live forever. Diamonds are perfect. Every millennial wants to be perfect. That's why they're all using meth, because it makes you feel crystal meth. Crystal diamonds. Diamond meth.
Diamond meth is a girl's best friend.
That's the secret.
Gentlemen, I have bad news. Well, I say bad news. Inconvenient news.
What happened? What's going on?
Natalie Imbruglia's torn.
Great song. Classic.
No. Natalie Imbruglia's torn.
Oh, you mean literally?
Yes, Natalie Imbruglia's torn.
Oh, what's she torn over?
Oh, even more literal than that, friend.
Oh, you mean actually torn?
Yeah, she had a stupid idea.
Oh, God.
Obviously, she's not as popular these days as she was in the 90s. Unlike Pokemon, she hasn't got a smash hit app to revive her career in any way. So she decided she'd try and step things up a bit. And thought to herself, well, everyone knows me for Torn. I can't really do Torn again. You know, I can't just make that a hit again, so what if I build on that idea? So last night, she was physically rent into several pieces on stage while singing Torn, and now she is in several pieces because Natalie Imbruglia is Torn.
So that's how she feels. Is she alive, technically?
Quite alive. I mean, it's not what I'd call a life, but she is twitching, which is always a good sign. I'm told by Dr. Nightscream that twitching's always a good sign. She does respond to various stimuli. If you say Natalie Imbruglia, she'll kind of slop in your direction. Well, some of the bits will.
Huh.
But I don't know how to sell that. Natalie Imbruglia as a performer, you can sell to, cruise lines and holiday campsites and places like that, where she'll sing Torn and then do an acoustic version of Torn. But Natalie Imbruglia, the several lumps of twitching meat, hard to sell.
I'm so confused as to what she thought she was going to achieve by this, and the lack of forethought going into, like, was this supposed to be like a magic trick or something, and then the illusion changed into something real?
Well, as near as I can tell, she just thought it would be controversial. She thought, maybe TMZ would pick it up or something like that, but no one seems all that interested. They don't care she had no luck.
And I mean, a human being. Meat, bone, sinew. You can't just tear them easy.
No.
Who tore her? How'd she get torn?
It was some very strong man.
It's so weird because I was told this was going to happen.
Really?
Yeah, I was. I went to Madame Helga's Mystic Mansion, and I guess the fortune teller's right.
Well, hindsight's 20/20, and that's not going to fix us here. We need to find a way to either fix her up or market Natalie Imbruglia as some sort of clumpy paste person, because that's what she is now.
I mean, maybe this is just an opportunity to have multiple Natalie Imbruglia.
Well, we have trouble selling the one.
Yeah, but this has at least a hook.
Well, several. That's how the man did his dark deed.
Oh, I can see that. I can see how that would work. That'd be pretty effective. You know, just like a meat hook in the shoulder, one shoulder, meat hook in the other shoulder, and pull. Well, and she's kind of diminutive, so it would have been. You wouldn't even have to be a big person to do it. You know, maybe that's what we do. Maybe that's the new gimmick. We just stitch her back up, put her back out on tour, and then every week, you know, we give some lucky audience member, you know, or some fan who wins a contest through the radio an opportunity to make Natalie Imbruglia torn.
I like that idea, but I just don't think she's going to hold up to multiple tearings. Now, if you'd have had that idea sooner, before she'd done this unannounced at a random gig, I think we could have at least gotten, like, play out of the one time she does it. But you're a little late, she's already torn.
They said that about Kylie Minogue, and then she came back. She not only played Street Fighter Cammy, but she later had a hit for the clubs. It wasn't the Locomotion, it was the other one. Like, Baby You Can Drive My Car, or Imagine All the People, or...
One of those
yeah, something
songs.
like that.
It all
Smash
sounds
Mouth.
the same to me, yeah.
I think she starred in Smash Mouth, the movie. So Natalie Imbruglia, she can do the same thing. Well, I'm not ready to give up on a woman just because she has been torn into several pieces.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, why don't we workshop the idea? I would ask Craig, but he pissed me off, so I've left him cold and shamed lying naked on the floor.
As he should be, rightly so.
Yeah, he's where he belongs. Let me think. I mean, we've got 3 main clumps. There's miscellaneous skin and tissue, but there are 3 main bits.
What do those bits consist of?
We've got kind of upper torso and an arm.
Okay.
We've got half a head, which is gripped by a hand. That's not letting go. And then we've got... It's hard to tell. There's a lot of viscera, I think maybe bits of a thigh, but that's all sort of congealed into one sort of area.
Very Cronenberg, very horrific.
Oh yeah, she's completely Cronenberged up.
3 bits, huh? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not going to be enough to make a full person. And that's the concern, is losing bits.
Oh, no, I mean, well, you know how hard we struggle with 3 bits at the best of times.
It's true.
So we're never getting the full Imbruglia back. Any sort of hope to...
Never again.
Sort of
Never
a Nightmare
again.
Before Christmas, Sally, stitch her back together. Nightmare Before Natalie, the Natalie Before Imbruglia. That's where I was hoping we could go with
And
it.
she's starting to regret it. She's starting to regret it.
Well, like you would.
Mm-hmm.
Can she even sing anymore? I mean, I didn't hear anything about where her vocal cords ended up and if they're connected to the lungs or to the mouth or...
I just feel like I've let her down. She's not going to be the person she was. And I promised her, she looked at me and squelched, you know, have I fucked up here? Am I ever going to be the same again? Or have I really just, have I quite literally torn it? And I said, Natalie, look, we will get you the best doctors. Not even Dr. Nightscream, I mean a real doctor of medicine. And we will have you pieced together. And one day you will look in the mirror again and say, man, I feel like a woman. But that was Shania Twain. You know what we haven't talked about before? Mimes. Let's do that now.
How is that possible? How have we never talked... Do you have any idea how many mime clients we have? There's got to be like a dozen of them.
We've got the most mime clients in the greater Boston area.
And yet we've never discussed them. It's just bizarre to me.
Well, what do you say? I mean, where do you find anything worth saying about mimes? Because they don't even speak.
We got some amazing mimes, Paul.
We do?
Oh, yeah. We just have never thought to do anything with them. We kind of send them out on their own and let them make their own money. But we've never thought of maybe actually utilizing the fact we know and work with so many mimes. A murder of mimes, if you will.
And then some mimes that have murdered.
Oh, well, yeah, let's not talk about curious Clarence anymore.
So curious, though. Like, so curious about what's on the inside of people.
So stabby.
And you never hear him coming. That's the problem. Right?
Oh, yes. No, hauntingly silent even as he goes about his dastardly deeds.
Well, I think I have seen him stab someone to death, and they screamed out in silence.
Well, just out of sheer respect for his craft.
Right. Well, you have to have a little bit of appreciation for the hard work that he does. Stabbing.
And these are all traditional black and white clothes, face makeup, mimes?
Most of them. One of the mimes is 3 frogs in a roller skate. I don't know how they got classified as a mime act, but you sometimes just see the roller skate just rolling down the street.
It's probably because they've never spoken.
Well, they are dead.
Ah, yeah. That would make a difference.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a whole new classification, a whole new definition for miming. As long as you're silent, you're a mime? You can be dead too?
Well, I mean, there's still got to be an element of street theatre. I mean, it is a public spectacle to see 3 dead frogs in a roller skate trundling down a hill.
I mean, if you notice, it's hard to make people notice you when you don't make a sound. That's what I've always been impressed with.
I know, that's why I had the forethought to strap a little MP3 player to the back of the skate, blasting out the best of MC Hammer.
So you're talking about the classic sample from James Dean's Super Freak, the bass line for Please Hammer, Don't Touch This, and a frog or 2 or 3 in a roller skate. And that's miming.
Guess I'm looking.
Well, I feel like if we've opened up the definition of mime that broadly, then there is a lot more potential there than I had initially thought. You've got the potential for just a sleeping old man. That's a mime. Could be. If he's rolling, as long as we put him on a motorcycle or something.
That would solve Boston's homelessness problem if we were to just paint a few of them up. Now they're mimes. People would be more willing to give them money rather than just ignore them.
And they do sleep a lot during the day, so you could find them while they're asleep, pick them up, put them in a hammock on wheels or something, roll them down a hill. Street theater, I think.
Yes.
That's all well and good, but we have to keep in mind that technology needs to be our friend too. And the street theater, you reach a few people, but using the internet, maybe we could find more reach.
Well, the thing about mime is that it's so personal, right?
It's very personal. It is very personal.
It's so much more impactful when you can experience it one-on-one or, in a small crowd, an intimate setting, either outside or in a little club somewhere. There's so much nuance that I feel would be lost.
That's what the marvellous Mr. Murky tapped into with his particular brand of mime, where he will break into a person's house and steal their underwear and leave. You feel incredibly personally affected by that brand of mime, especially when he's outside the next day in his full painted regalia, smelling the underwear.
Silently
Smelling and staring through the window, and occasionally masturbating, which is also silent.
And the tragic thing about it is that some people just don't get it.
No. No.
I mean, some people just they look at it and they don't realize, hey, that's my underwear.
Well, it's a lost art.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a lost art.
A shame.
You can look at Coco Cortez and say, hey, I don't get what that person's doing. He's throwing raw meat at passing traffic. There's been a dozen accidents. And they don't understand that, friend, that's street theatre.
It's a man bearing his soul.
Silently, always silently, apart
Always.
from the sound of crunching metal and the screams and so much flesh. And of course the flies that are attracted to the raw meat. But that's all part of it. The surrounding noise the metal, the bones, the screaming, the flies, is standing in stark opposition to the silence of Coco Cortez, who has a lot of trouble.
And I think we can use that trouble. And I hear what you're saying about intimacy. But this is the modern world, guys. This is the internet. People want intimacy, but they want it digital. They want it mass consumable. They want it distributed through the tubes. I mean, these tubes are really the new streets. The inner tubes, the inner streets.
Are they really? Are they? Because I'm convinced that the internet's a fad. I mean, how long's it been around now? 20, 30 years?
Give or take.
The Earth is several billion years old. The internet's like that.
I hear that, but all the same, we want to further that fad using the classic art of mime, innovated by Coco Cortez and the marvelous Mr. Murky, and give them the opportunity to get a little taste of everybody, and for everybody to get a little taste of them. I don't want to give up on that.
Some of our artists are very, I know they're very traditional. You know, I could talk to Chalupa and tell him, like, you know, we want to get you on the internet, and he'll tell me mime's been here before the internet, it'll be here after the internet. Mime's been here before humans, and it'll be here after humans.
I was not aware that mimes predate human beings as we know them, Homo sapien.
Why do you think there's that dinosaur called the Gallimimus? Mimosaurs have been around for a very long time. We actually have the last surviving one signed onto our very own contract.
And Captain Billy is just, bar none, the best mime. There's a genetic
Billy.
Lineage
Mm-hmm.
that contributes, like some sort of animalistic hereditary memory that makes him so amazingly talented at mime.
Exactly. And you'd think it would be difficult with the little arms, but
No, not at all.
he can pull a pretend rope down the street.
So Captain Billy is a dinosaur, you're
A
saying?
mimosaur. Don't be insensitive.
Yeah, racist.
Then, of course, there's Daniel, the descriptive mime.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, he tells you what he's doing. He's one of the very few mime artists who actually vocalizes. Even more impressive, he doesn't actually do any performances with his hands or his legs or anything. He just stands in the street and just loudly shouts, "I'm trapped in a box, I'm trapped in a box."
Oh my gosh, it's so windy. I'm gonna have to fight this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he just stands there. It's very, very bleeding edge mime work.
There's really nothing. Nobody's doing anything like it. It's unique. It's evocative. It's powerful.
It's mime deco, if anything.
And the thing I love about it is that it takes the interpretation completely out of it. You always understand his message.
But he just yells, "I'm walking an invisible dog"?
Oh, and he gets into arguments with people who pass by. He's not one of those, obviously, he's not one of those speaks with his hands kinds of people. He just stands there, arms flat against his side, and says, "Hey, asshole."
So this is the guy. This is the guy. Descriptive Daniel, he is perfect for the internet. He is perfect for the medium that the internet craves the most, which is podcasts. He can talk.
Podcasts, you say? Now, I've heard of those. Those I've heard of. Yeah, that's good. Podcasts are really successful, aren't they? I mean, not all of them. Some of them you work really hard on and think are brilliant and barely anyone listens to them. But they are popular, aren't they?
Yeah, tons of revenue, tons of listens. Absolutely.
Ricky Gervais had one before his whole scandal with the rats.
Yeah, he had one where he was mean to strangers and then fell in a hole, I think. Was it called going down the hole with rat bag or something?
I've heard of going down the hole with rat bag or something. Okay, no. This is good. This is good. Like I say, a lot of mimes are cynical about the internet, but they're fans of radio. So we could gather some together and explain that this is, radio for a new generation. We bring them in. We've got a studio with FistShark Media. We can bring them in, get them doing their thing, release it as a podcast. Paul, that is a brilliant idea.
Well, I mean, there's only one that talks, so...
Oh, yeah, and we wouldn't be able to get him.
No.
He's allergic to electricity like that guy from Better Call Saul.
FistShark Marketing is Jim Sterling, Conrad Zimmerman, and Paul Sincere. Theme music by Ben Rama. Additional music by Alizar Chan. Our editor is Alan Smithy. Get more episodes and learn how to support the show at FistShark.com. Follow us on Twitter at FistShark for more of our exploits. Complaints can be forwarded via email to fistsharkmarketing@aol.com. And remember, secondhand smoke is secondhand cool. Goodbye.